The Freedom Business: How to Think, Create, and Prosper Without Selling Your Soul, by Lassi Pensikkala. Introduction: The Calling of the Freethinker. What if business wasn't about sacrifice, hustle, and soulless meetings, but about clarity, purpose, and deep joy? What if your thoughts, beliefs, and values could shape not just your life, but your income? This auto guide is for those who feel they are meant for something more. Those who want to think freely, work meaningfully, and prosper without burning out. I'm writing this as someone who has built companies across continents, worked with millionaires, walked through deserts of doubt, and come back with a new vision. A business aligned with your spirit, built from your own desk, shaped by your creativity, wisdom, and peace. Lassi Pensikkala, economist, international business developer, hailing from Finland, living at the Pacific Coast, Ecuador's. Studied economics, psychology, and sociology at the University of Hamburg, Germany. I used to believe success was about building something big. And I did. At the age of 30, I was running a €1 million business in Germany. I started a business from scratch. No investors, no shortcuts, just vision, focus, and a deep drive to build something meaningful. For over 20 years, I built and scaled it, and I thought I was on the right path. But as time passed, things changed, in the market, in the economy, and in me. By the time I was 53, I made the decision to close the company. It simply wasn't sustainable anymore. It was no longer profitable in the way it needed to be, not just financially, but also energetically and personally. The model that once worked so well had run its course. And with that decision came a wave of reflection. I had done everything right, studied hard, spoke 5 languages, worked internationally, networked constantly, and built a company from nothing. But in that moment of transition, I realized something deeper. Success, as the world defines it, had stopped making sense. The external lie. We're taught that success means owning more, being admired, constantly growing, winning attention. But what if you're winning and feel empty? What if you have the house, the title, the admiration, but no peace? I started to see that many people who looked successful on the outside were quietly suffering on the inside. My slow awakening. Few years before closing the business, I moved to Ecuador. Years later, something unexpected and miraculous happened. My wonderful daughter was born when I was 56. That changed everything. I realized I didn't want to spend the rest of my life chasing status. I didn't want to be away from my family. I didn't want endless meetings and complicated systems. What I truly wanted was this: to think clearly, to work meaningfully, to live simply and prosper, to trust the direction I feel inside, and to build a life where success includes peace. Today I work from home. I spend time with my daughters. I read, I write, I design. I build businesses that reflect my values. And yes, I still want to make money. But now it's with a different mindset, a new definition of success. Success isn't about having more. It's about living with clarity, balance, and trust. It's waking up with purpose, having control over your time, doing work that aligns with who you are, helping others without losing yourself, living without needing to pretend or perform. This book is not a blueprint. It's a new model, a way to think, create, and prosper without selling your soul. After everything changed, I didn't just lose money. I lost my compass. The business had been my structure, my identity, my plan. For years, I followed what others said was the way forward. Growth, expansion, constant motion. But when the business was no longer viable, I had to ask myself a deeper question. What do I really want? What feels right for me? That's when I discovered the power of the inner compass, the quiet but strong voice inside that tells you where to go, even if the world disagrees. It's not based on fear. It's not about pressure. It's based on trust. Trust in your thinking. Trust in your instincts. Trust that you are allowed to build a life that feels right, even if it looks different from everyone else's. The inner compass is available to all of us, but we often silence it because it speaks softly, and the world shouts. I started listening again. I began rebuilding my life around what I knew was true for me. That meant saying no to things I once thought were essential. It meant working from home, valuing time, and designing income around peace. Your compass is there, trust it. Even if it takes you off the usual map, it will bring you home. There's power in working from where you feel most grounded. For me, that's home. No traffic, no noise, no pretending. Just real thinking, creating, writing, conversations, with space for reflection. In a world obsessed with mobility and noise, home is a counterbalance. It's where ideas come more freely. It's where I can work with depth, not just speed. I believe many people could prosper more and feel better if they reimagined home, not as a fallback, but as a strategic power base. From your kitchen table, you can run an international business. From your garden, you can close deals. From your living room, you can write books and coach leaders. The world has changed. The opportunity is here. One of the greatest freedoms in life is the ability to create. And creation is not just for artists. As business thinkers, we are creators. We make ideas, products, services, solutions, brands, systems. Each creation can become a value engine, something that serves others and rewards you, often without constant effort. This is what I love most. The moment when something in my head becomes something real. A graphic, an article, a strategy, a visual model. The modern entrepreneur doesn't need to be a manager. You can be a creator of clarity, of insight, of solutions, and prosper from it. Most people don't design their business. They fall into it. That's why so many feel trapped. But you can flip the script. Start with one question. What kind of work life do I want? Then build everything else around it. Income model, schedule, client type, delivery format. Don't tolerate a business that burns you out. Design one that energizes you. Mine includes home office, deep thinking time, writing and speaking, creative graphics and business ideas, minimal meetings, great conversations, not cold sales. That's not luck. That's design. For many years, I felt tension around money, wanting it, avoiding it, judging it, doubting myself. Eventually, I realized something simple. Money is a tool. Meaning is the compass. Trust is the path. Once I trusted that I could earn money with peace, not stress, everything changed. I didn't want money for ego. I wanted it for freedom, family, legacy, peace. When you combine clarity of purpose with smart business, money flows more freely and with more meaning. You're allowed to want money. You're also allowed to want rest. You can have both. The world doesn't need more noise. It needs clarity. That's why every entrepreneur, consultant, or expert should define their signature offer. The core service or product that reflects their true value. Mine, helping others navigate international business, understand culture, think strategically, and do business with depth and clarity. Your signature offer should solve a real problem, reflect your best skills, fit your ideal working style, be simple to explain and deliver. Once you find it, everything becomes easier. You stop chasing clients and start attracting them. Business is not just systems. It's people. It's built on trust, connection, and real conversations. Some of my biggest opportunities started from a round of golf, a personal introduction, a helpful email, not a funnel or a Facebook ad. In Latin America, this is even more true. But really, it's true everywhere. The best business strategy? Be trustworthy. Be helpful. Be human. Build real relationships and not just leads. Create real value, not just content. Everything else flows from there. I don't want a busy life. I want a full, meaningful, peaceful one. So I build my weeks like this. Time to think. Time to write. Time to rest. Conversations with people I care about. Golf, family, reading. This is how I stay productive without stress. I don't need to fill my calendar to feel important. Peace is not the opposite of progress. Peace is the power behind it. This is a different way to live. Business built on trust, clarity, and joy. Not on pressure, guilt, or endless chasing. You can think deeply, create freely, prosper honestly, rest peacefully. Build without selling your soul. That's the freedom business, and it's waiting for you to claim it. Thanks for listening. Download my free ebooks to grow your business, expand your horizons, and travel smarter in amirexperience.com.